Are you feeling sad? You want to know the meaning of life? Here are some advice from the CEO of Tesla, Elon Musk.
A source of strength. I doesn't really know how I think about things. I mean, for me, it's simply this is something that is important to get done, and we should just keep doing it or die trying. I don't need a source of strength.
So quitting is not even like...
It's not in my nature. I don't care about optimism or pessimism. Fuck that, we're going to get it done. Try to be useful. Do things that are useful to your fellow human beings, to the world. It's very hard to be useful. Are you contributing more than you consume? Try to have a positive net contribution to society. I think that's the thing to aim for. Not to try to be sort of a leader for the sake of being a leader or whatever. A lot of times, the people you want as leaders are the people who don't want to be leaders. If you can live a useful life, that is a good life. But I would encourage people to use the mental tools of physics and apply them broadly in life. They're the best tools. I would encourage people to read a lot of books. Basically, try to ingest as much information as you can, and try to also just develop a good general knowledge. So you at least have like a rough lay of the land of the knowledge landscape. Try to learn a little bit about a lot of things, because you might not know what you're really interested in. How would you know what you're really interested in if you at least aren't like doing a peripheral exploration of broadly of the knowledge landscape? Talk to people from different walks of life and different industries and professions and skills. Learn as much as possible. Man's search for meaning. Like I said, I would encourage people to read broadly in many different subject areas. Try to find something where there's an overlap of your talents and what you're interested in. So people may be good at something, or they may have skill at a particular thing, but they don't like doing it. So you want to try to find a thing where you're a good combination of the things that you're inherently good at, but you also like doing. At one point when I was a kid, I read through the encyclopedia. That was pretty helpful. There were also things I didn't even know existed. Encyclopedias were digestible, I think, 40 years ago. Read through the condensed version of the Encyclopedia Britannica. I'd recommend that. You can always skip subjects so you read a few paragraphs and you're not interested, just jump to the next one. Put a lot of stock and certainly have a lot of respect for someone who puts in an honest day's work to do useful things. Generally, to have not a zero-sum mindset, have more of a grow-the-pie mindset. We see people perhaps including some very smart people, kind of taking an attitude of like doing things that seem like morally questionable. It's often because they have, at a base sort of axiomatic level, a zero-sum mindset without realizing it. They don't realize they have a zero-sum mindset, or at least they don't realize it consciously. If you have a zero-sum mindset, then the only way to get ahead is by taking things from others. If the pie is fixed, then the only way to have more pie is to take someone else's pie. But this is false. Obviously the pie has grown dramatically over time, the economic pie. In reality, you can overuse this analogy, you can have a lot of pie. So you really want to make sure you're not operating without realizing it from a zero-sum mindset, where the only way to get ahead is to take things from others. Then that's going to result in you trying to take things from others, which is not good. It's much better to work on adding to the economic pie, creating more than you consume. So that's a big deal. I think there's a fair number of people in finance that do have a bit of a zero-sum mindset. I think what Douglas Adams was saying in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is that the universe is the answer, and what we really need to figure out are what questions to ask about the answer that is the universe, and that the question is really the hard part. And if you can properly frame the question, then the answer, relatively speaking, is easy. So therefore, if you want to understand what questions to ask about the universe, you want to understand the meaning of life, we need to expand the scope and scale of consciousness so that we're better able to understand the nature of the universe and understand the meaning of life. The foundation of my philosophy is that I am curious about the nature of the universe, and obviously I will die. I don't know when I'll die, but I won't live forever. But I would like to know that we are on a path to understanding the nature of the universe and the meaning of life, and what questions to ask about the answer that is the universe. And so if we expand the scope and scale of humanity and consciousness in general, which includes silicon consciousness, then that seems like a fundamentally good thing. You don't always improve, but you can aspire to improve. You aspire to be less wrong. This is I think the tools of physics are very powerful. Just assume you're wrong and your goal is to be less wrong. I don't think you're going to if succeed every day in being less wrong, but if you're going to succeed in being less wrong most of the time, you're doing great. One of the issues with social media that's been pointed out by many people is that I think maybe particularly Instagram, people look like they have a much better life than they really do. People are posting pictures of when they're really happy. They're modifying those pictures to be better looking. Even if they're not modifying the pictures, they're at least selecting the pictures for the best lighting, the best angle. So people basically they're way better looking than they basically really are, and they're way happier seeming than they really are. So if you look at everyone on Instagram, you might think, man, there are all these happy, beautiful people, and I'm not that good looking, and I'm not happy. So I must suck, and that's going to make people sad. When in fact, those people you think are super happy, actually not that happy. Some of them are really depressed. They're very sad. Some of the happiest seeming people actually some of the saddest people in reality. And nobody looks good all the time, doesn't matter who you are. I think things like that can make people quite sad. People generally think of themselves relative to others. We are constantly re-baselining our expectations. And you can see this, say, if you watch some show like Naked and Afraid, or, you know, if you just go and try living in the woods by yourself for a while, and you'll learn that civilization is quite great. People want to come back to civilization pretty fast on Naked and Afraid.